Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sachin Singh, and today I bring you 4 positions from the arena that happened on the 28th of December 2023. These will be endgame positions. Most of them will be puzzle rush. And let's get started with the first position. White has just played Queen G4 trying to threaten mate, and Black here played Rook F7. It's now time to pause the video and think about what's the best continuation for White. But White made a mistake here after playing Queen E6, because after very precise Queen F5, White had to take, and after Rook F5, Rook E4, White wins this pawn, but had to win this game all over again. And in fact, after set the position back up again. And after Rook F7, there's an easier continuation, which is Rook takes F7, King takes F7, and Queen E6 check. And now King F8 only move, since the G8 square is covered by the Queen. And now after Rook F1, Queen F5, Rook takes F5, White wins on the spot. Let's get to the next position. So here in the second position, White started with Rook A7, King F8, and White made a mistake with King G6. So let's put it at King G5, and here's a good time to pause your video and figure out what's White's winning moves. Multiple moves win here, but let's look at what White played after King G6. Something like Rook G1, Rook takes A2, Rook takes G4, King H5, and Rook B5. Black easily draws because of the Rook pawn, which will almost never promote. Let's go back to the position. At this point, multiple moves win. One of the easiest wins is King H5, not allowing any of these Rook G1, Rook H1 ideas. And now anytime the Rook moves, White can simply collect the A2 pawn. So if King G8, G5, and if King H8 here, White can just run with King G6, threatening checkmate on A8, and there's no way to stop it. Even if you put the Rook on any of these files, White just goes Rook 8 and collects the Rook with delivering checkmate on the next move. So here, King has to go to F8, and after King F8, G6, and then there's no way, again, to stop G7. And if King goes back, you have King H6, Rook 8 checkmate. So White simply collects this pawn after something like Rook G1, and there's no way for Black to save this position after G6. So this was an easy win that was missed, and the game ended in a draw. After White played King G6, Rook G1, and these pawns were swapped. White could never promote the H4 pawn. On to the next position. So let's take a look at the third position. This was a game in which Black made a mistake with G6, and White clearly responded with H6, threatening to promote. And after King G8 in the main line, Rook B1 was played, and after King F7, a draw was agreed. But let's come back to this position, and let's take a look at what options could have been played. So after King G8, White needs to make a move. It's time to now pause the video and think about it. A very peculiar move actually wins here, which is Rook E2, sacrificing the B3 pawn. So after Rook takes B3, Rook E3, blocking the check, and then also threatening the E6 pawn, and then further threatening the G6 pawn. So here, if Rook takes E3, King takes E3, White's King simply trots over, wins the B6 pawn, and then the E6 pawn, and then slowly the G6 pawn. because the king is always tied down to this square, as this pawn is always threatening to promote and is a passer and actually a protected passer. Therefore, black can only waste moves with the king and go on to the white goes on to win these two pawns. Also, there's another way. Another question actually is that why doesn't at this point rook d2 win? So let's quickly look at that variation. After rook d2, something like here, there's no rook e3, so you do want to go king here, and then after rook b4, if you play something like king e3, now intending to interpose with rook d3, black simply goes rook e4, and after something like king f3, there's e5, and the pawn chain starts shattering, which is the only reason why rook e2 works, which is very counterintuitive. But let's go on to the next position. This is the last position of the video. White started here with b4 and black played rook 8 e3. White made a mistake with b5 and now black is actually winning. Black chose to draw with rook g3, king h1, rook takes h3, king g1, rook g3, and a threefold repetition here confirmed the draw. After king h1, rook h3, king g1, black can actually go forward and take this c3 pawn. Well, it is important because when white played b5, white took away the square b5 from the knight to jump to, and now knight must jump back to b1, a very passive square and also blocking the a1 rook. Here, rook c, c2, threatening rook g2, rook h2, and rook cg2 checkmate. The only move is rook d1, creating space for the king. And here you have to play a very calculated c5, and these are double passers and protected. Here there are multiple ways for white to play, and most of them lose. Actually, all of them lose. One of them is knight a3 attacking the rook on c2, and you start with something like rook g2, king h1, here, here, here. After king f1, you attack the knight again. And as you see, the knight has again no squares to go to. The c2 square is checked by the rook h2, rook on h2, and then this pawn takes care of the c4 square. So knight has to jump back to b1, and here rook h1 check, king e2, rook g2, and after king f3, rook takes d1, king takes g2, c4, and this pawn will basically pin this knight to the rook, and white basically, whenever black plays c3, white has to take back and give up the rook. The king is not in time to save, because let's say king f2, c3, king e2, knight c2, and suddenly this knight is lost, and there's nothing white can do to stop this pawn from promoting, or has to give up these two pieces for the pawn. So black simply could have won with this really nice technique, but it's very difficult to see the move c5 in this position. Thank you for watching the video. If you really like it, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and have a great day.